Here's some geometry questions on practice with trigonometry, and I can't remember what SRT stands for. It stands for something, all the different trig ratios of triangles, sine, cosine, tangent. You can look up what SRT means, but it means sometimes you might have to take the cosine of something or the sine of something to find a length. If the problem has a star asterisk, then make it the exact answer. In other words, I don't want to just get a number and round it. All other problems round to the nearest thousandth. Here is number 6. I've got this kite, and I need to find the area. What is the area of a kite? Well, remember the area of a kite is like this. Let's go fly a kite up to the highest height. Let's go fly a kite and send it soaring. D1 times D2, all divided by 2, is the area of a kite. Just a little song I just made up. D1, diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 divided by 2. Well, first of all, I noticed 3 square root of 2 can be simplified. 3 square root of 12. 12 is 4 times 3. And 4 can come out of the square root. Square root of 4 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. So this is 6 square root of 3. That's a side opposite of 90. And remember, in a 30, you can use Pythagorean theorem, or you can remember these ratios. Opposite 30 is x. Opposite 60 is x square root of 3. Opposite 90 is 2x. So if 2x is 6 square root of 3, opposite of 30 is going to be half that. So this is 3 square root of 3. This is 6 square root of 3. And this is going to be 3 square root of 3 times square root of 3, because x is 3 square root of 3 times square root of 3. That's 3 times square root of 9, which is 3 times 3, which is 9. So that means this is 9, and so is this. And this is 3 square root of 3, and this is 3 square root of 3. So formula, D1 times D2 divided by 2. 3 square root of 3 plus 3 square root of 3 is 6 square root of 3 plus 9 plus 9 is 18. That whole diagonal is 18. Divided by, times rather, not plus, times, wait a minute, let me fix that. 6 square root of 3 times 18 divided by 2 equals, I'll just do 18 divided by 2 is 9. 6 square root of 3 times 9. 9 times 6 is 54 square root of 3. And that one has an asterisk, so wants the exact answer. 54 square root of 3, whatever, square units. It's not giving units. Okay, I've got a trapezoid. And although it looks like, I'm pretty sure from examining this that really that whole side is 12, because if it's not, then there's no reason to use that angle. It's not necessary. I'll show it in a second if only this little part is 12, and I'll show you what happens. But I don't think that's the intention. I think that whole thing is supposed to be 12. So what do I need for the area of a trapezoid? I need the base 1, base 2, which I have, 6 plus 12, and I divide that by 2, and then I multiply that by the height. I don't know what the height is, except I know that I have an angle, I have an opposite and hypotenuse. So sine of 63 degrees, SOHCAHTOA, sine is opposite, is h divided by 8. And if I multiply both sides by 8, I get the height is 8 sine of 63 degrees. So times height, 8 sine 63 degrees. 6 plus 12 is 18 divided by 2 is 9. 9 times 8 sine 63 degrees. 9 times 8, 72 sine 63 degrees. Now this doesn't ask for an exact answer. It doesn't have the asterisk. So I can put this in good old Desmos. And I've got 72 sine 63. Make sure I'm in degree mode. I am. 64 point, it said round to nearest thousandths, so 64.15, and I forgot what the last digit is, 2 square units. So I've got that one. Oh, let me show you, if I'm going to show you the other way. Let me get rid of all that work. You can rewind if you need to. I'm going to say, what if just this part is 12? Well, if just that part is 12, I can draw a line here, and I know this is 6. That would make this is 6. That would make that 6. And then I have, there was something else. Oh, yeah. This is a 90-degree angle. Well, this is 2 times 3, 2 times 4. So this is a 3, 4, 5. This is 2 times 5, 10. And I don't think it was meant to be that easy. So that's why I said I think 12 is all the way across. But if it were that, if 12 is just this part, then the area is going to be 1/2. I'll just put over 2. 12 plus 6 is 18 times 10, which is 90 square units. And I just don't think it's supposed to be that simple. So if you rewind a little bit, you'll see the way to do it by actually using that angle. But that depends on this whole thing being 12, which, again, I think that's what their intention was. Okay, number 8. I already know it wants, I think, am I even doing these right? I mean, am I getting the right answer? Find the area. Okay, it says find the area of the following problems. I think it means the following figures. So this, the rectangle part is 10 times 24 is 240. So I've got that. This doesn't have an asterisk. I can get an approximate answer. This is 51 degrees. I know this whole thing is 24, which makes this 12. And so now I have an angle, opposite, and I need the adjacent. So I can do sine of 51 degrees equals opposite over, oh, not sine. No, that would be if I have the hypotenuse. Why don't you tell me? I don't have the hypotenuse. Tangent, TOA, tangent of 51 degrees equals 12 divided by adjacent height. So I multiply both sides by height, divide both sides by tangent 51. Height equals 12 divided by tangent 51 degrees. So for the triangle, I know it's 240 plus 1/2 times 24 times 12 over tangent 51 degrees. And 1/2 of 24 is 12. 12 times 12 is 144 over tangent 51 degrees. That's going to be the area of the triangle plus 240, which is the area of the rectangle. And you can do this on your calculator. I'm going to put it into Desmos. 144, wait. 144 divided by tangent 51. It is degrees, my friend. Yes. Times plus 240. Whoop, where's the plus? Plus 240 equals 356.609, approximately. Approximately 3, was it 56? 56.609, whatever, square units. Doesn't give units. And then number 9, I have to do exact. This is kite again, so I need diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 divided by 2, and that's going to equal the area. I could also get the area of the left triangle plus the area of the right triangle if you want to do it that way. Do it that way, but I'm not going to. I know this is a 45-45, 90 triangle. That means I can find this side, the side opposite 45, and also this side. So let me recall that in a 45, 90, the ratio is x, square root of 2. You could also do it with the Pythagorean theorem. I'm not going to. X square root of 2 equals 10. So x equals 10 divided by square root of 2. I have to simplify that. Times square root of 2 over square root of 2. That is 10 square root of 2. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is square root of 4, which is 2, which is equal to 5 square root of 2. So I know that this is 5 square root of 2. This is 5 square root of 2. This is 5 square root of 2, because these two are equal. And so now I know my whole diagonal, my whole short diagonal is 5 square root of 2 plus 5 square root of 2 is 10 square root of 2. And remember, this one wants the exact answer. Maybe I better write this. Let me make a line here, and I'll put 10 square root of 2. Now I just have to find this part. Well, the side, remember again, well, I didn't even put it here. In a 30, 60, 90, the ratios of our x, 2x, and x square root of 3. It's a very bad 3. And so I know the side opposite of the 30. So x is 5 square root of 2. I need the side opposite 60. This would be a 60-degree angle, because angles add up to 180. So that's x square root of 3. It would be 5 square root of 2 is x times square root of 3, which is 5 square root of 6. So this big piece here is 5 square root of 6. So that means this other diagonal is 5 square root of 2 plus 5 square root of 6. And then I have to divide the whole thing by 2. Well, 10 square root of 2 divided by 2 is 5 square root of 2. So this is 5 square root of 2 times 5 square root of 2 plus 5 square root of 6. Now, could that be the answer? Could be, but maybe that will be accepted, but remember it wants exact, it's got the asterisk. I'm going to distribute. 5 times 5 is 25. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2. 25 times 2 is 50. Plus 5 times 5 is 25. Square root of 6 times square root of 2 is square root of 12, which I can simplify to 4 times 3. 4 comes out as square root of 4 is 2. 2 times 25 is 50, so plus 50, and the 3 is still inside the square root of 3. So there's my answer, 50 plus 50 square root of 3. And by the way, I ran all of these through AI. It got everything right. Well, no, I take it back. AI's missed. Which one did it miss? I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah, I did 7. I think the AI's got number 7 wrong and number 9 wrong. So you got to be careful when you use AI. But anyway, 50 plus 50 square root of 3 for the last one, and that is all the questions.